sports.
It's day 162. Major League Baseball began today looking at several different playoff scenarios. One key game was supposed to be right here at Chase Field. It's Arizona Diamondbacks baseball presented by Sanderson Ford on this Fan Appreciation Day, as the D-backs close 2014 with a chance to finish a series victory over one of the NL contenders, the St. Louis Cardinals, who just clinched the National League Central about 60 seconds ago. That is a picture of the Cardinal bullpen, where 20-game winner Adam Wainwright was warming up to start this game. But now that the Pittsburgh Pirates have lost in Cincinnati, it looks like Wainwright will be pulled. All this happening right now as we come on the air. So welcome to day 162 here at Chase Field, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. This is it, the final game of the 2014 season. And Bob, we're not quite sure who's going to pitch for the St. Louis Cardinals right now.
It looked like Adam Wainwright was ready to go, but they sent a lefty down to begin warming up. Wainwright came back to the dugout, so we'll just have to wait and see what the Cardinals decide to do.
Just a minute or two ago, the Pirates lost at Cincinnati, so the Cardinals are the National League Central champions. This game means nothing for them as a result, and so we expect some major lineup changes for Mike Matheny. Now, as far as Alan Trammell and the Arizona Diamondbacks, we know what's happening there. It's Josh Collminter today.
And we're really looking forward to it. Josh Collminter's been on an unbelievable run. Go back to May 29th, forced into duty in the starting rotation, pitched an absolute gem against the Cincinnati Reds, a complete game, 3-hit shutout. More recently, 6 consecutive quality starts. He's pitched into the 7th inning in all 6 of those games. I don't know where the rotation would be without Josh Collminter this year.
Sort of an exclamation point for Josh on this, the final season of his career. The Cardinals are the NL Central champs, so we will not, we're guessing, see Adam Wainwright here. This was just moments ago, waving to some Cardinal fans here behind the St. Louis dugout. Now that they have won their division, it looks like no Wainwright today against Josh Collminter. We will sort it all out when we come back from Chase Field on day 162 in downtown Phoenix. That is 27-year-old Nick Greenwood out of the University of Rhode Island. He is now the starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He will make today his first major league start after Adam Wainwright was scratched from the starting pitcher position from this game after the Cardinals have clinched the NL Central title. We'll sort it all out in just a moment. First, though, we pause to honor America and the voice of Chase Field, Mr. Chuck Drago.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and please remove your hats. Direct your attention to the field as we honor the United States of America and pay tribute to our veterans, active duty, and retired men and women of our armed services. As is a D-backs tradition on the final home game of the season, we invite you, the best fans in baseball, to sing along as D-backs organist Bobby Freeman plays our national anthem.
Here. Oh, Jesus. This is a disaster. Baxter here on the final day of the 2014 Major League season for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and a crazy day here at Chase Field. Massive lineup changes at the very last minute for Mike Matheny's St. Louis Cardinals after the Pirates just lost in Cincinnati, so the Cardinals have clinched the National League Central, so they will change their lineup all around. No changes for the D-backs, though. Out on the pitcher's mound, your Arizona Ford starter, Josh Comenter. He has been the D-backs' best starting pitcher this year, and he closes us out in 2014.
And certainly we don't know moving forward to next season how it's all going to shake out and who's going to be on that pitching staff, but Josh Comenter certainly has made a strong case for being in that rotation next year. Not only with the way he's pitched all season long, but particularly the way he's closed this season. As I mentioned, 6 quality starts in a row, has pitched into the 7th inning in all of those.
All career highs, 11 wins, 27 starts, 112 strikeouts, just over 171 innings pitched. Look at this, a 3-1 record, a 1.29 ERA. Over his last 6 starts, he has allowed just 6 earned runs in his last 42 innings of work. And we are set for baseball now. Please bear with us. Mike Matheny changed his entire lineup moments before first pitch, so Colton Wong, who was scheduled to hit 7th in the Cardinals' original order, will lead it off now that this game is essentially meaningless for St. Louis, the National League Central champions for the 2nd year in a row. There's a little bouncer to first. Mark Trumbo with a high Sox today has it, and that's the first out. We do know who's playing defensively for Arizona, and it looks a little something like this. It's our mid-first bank starting defense.
It looks a lot like this for the Diamondbacks. Inciarte, Pollock, and Peralta left to right across the outfield. Jake Lamb and Didi Gregorius on the left side of the infield. Cliff Pennington, Mark Trumbo on the right side. Tuffy Gosowich getting a start in the final game of the regular season, and Josh Comenter, the righty, on the mound.
Another start at second base for Cliff Pennington. Chris Owings' shoulder still barking a bit. Randall Grichuk, who was originally supposed to hit 8th, is now hitting 2nd.
Wow.
Attention media. That's always the dreaded call when you hear it go out in the press box PA minutes before first pitch. Attention media. The entire lineup is different.
And you just keep your fingers crossed that every change is straight up.
And none of them were.
None of them
thanks
were.
for that. Thank you, Pittsburgh Pirates. Will now play a wild card game against the San Francisco Giants. Grichuk behind now, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Mike Matheny, his team wins the NL Central. And the last time St. Louis won back-to-back division titles, their manager was Tony La Russa. And Matheny now, just the 5th manager in baseball history to take his team to the postseason. In each of his first 3 years on the job, this ball is well hit deep to left field, but Ender Inciarte's there. And there are 2 down. Now here is the Cardinals lineup, and trust us, it's a little different from the one that we had moments ago. Bob, what do you have?
Well, this is the first time I've seen it. We've seen Colton Wong at the top. Randall Grichuk just slide out to left field. Oscar Taveras in right field. Matt Adams at first base. Daniel Descalso at third. Tony Cruz behind the plate. Peter Borges out in center field. Pete Kozma at shortstop. And Nick Greenwood, the emergency starter here today.
And here is a look at the big power hitting prospect that they are so enthusiastic about. Big Oscar Taveras. 6'2", 200 pounds, 22 years old, and he belts one to right, but there's David Peralta, and Josh Comenter works a very quick 8-pitch first inning. We are underway on day 162 at Chase Field. Steve Berthium, Bob Bradley with you. Day 162, and this is it. Cardinals and Diamondbacks. D-backs with a chance to close out the season with a series win over the division champs in the National League Central, the St. Louis Cardinals. And on the mound for St. Louis, 27-year-old rookie right-hander Nick Greenwood out of the University of Rhode Island. He's a Rhody Ram, originally a 14th round pick by the San Diego Padres in the '09 draft. He has made just 18 appearances for the Cardinals this year. This is his first major league start, and how about this, Bob? He found out about it about 5 minutes before first pitch.
It sure didn't take him long to get warmed up. I mean, he went down to that bullpen. Adam Wainwright made his way back to the first base dugout, and very shortly thereafter, Nick Greenwood said he's ready to go. Let's play ball. He hasn't pitched for a week through an inning and 2/3 against the Reds on the 21st. Fastball, changeup, slider combination from Greenwood.
Ender Inciarte leads it off at 280 on the year. How about that? Nick Greenwood, a nice diving stab to get the first out. This is the lineup with Alan Trammell, the acting manager, in the Diamondback dugout.
Ender Inciarte at the top in the middle of a 15-game hitting streak where he's hit 400 with 26 hits in 15 ball games. Pollock, Peralta, and Trumbo make up the top of the order. Jake Lamb hitting 5th. Tuffy Gosowich in the 6th hole. Cliff Pennington at second base batting 7th. Didi Gregorius hitting 8th. And the pitcher Josh Colmenter batting 9th.
One away for A.J. Pollock. And also, in case you haven't heard on this Day 162, some of the craziness. Jordan Zimmermann of the Washington Nationals no-hit the Miami Marlins at Nats Park in the final game of the season. A lot going on here on this Day 162, as there always seems to be here in recent seasons around Major League Baseball.
I got a call from a writer in Washington, D.C. this morning, wanted to do an interview about Matt Williams, and I told him, you know, I'll talk to you when I get to the ballpark. Give me a call back. And when he called back, he said, listen, we're going to have to do it tomorrow. Zimmerman's got a no-hitter going.
Jordan Zimmermann. And the no-hitter for the Nationals, thrown by Jordan Zimmermann, the first no-hitter by a Washington major leaguer since Bobby Burke on August 8th, 1931 at Old Griffith Stadium. Here it is, 1-0. Jeez. Well, Nick Greenwood, welcome to the big leagues. A couple of comebackers right there. This is the new Cardinal defensive alignment now. It's our mid-first bank starting defense for St. Louis.
And a big tip of the cap to our people down in the truck for scrambling as quickly as they did after the lineup changes. It'll be Grichuk, Borges, and Taveras left to right across the outfield. Descalso, Cosmo, Wong, and Adams third to first across the infield. Tony Cruz behind the plate. Nick Greenwood on the mound.
2 down, David Peralta.
Hit it to somebody else.
David, a 3-hit night last night, including his 8th home run of the year, 289 and 8 homers. I think I just went through an entire eraser.
I know.
And that stuff gets everywhere.
I guess we should consider ourselves fortunate that Alan Trammell didn't decide to change his lineup and get some of the lefties out of there, get more of the right-handed bats in the lineup against Greenwood, but Tram sticks with the lineup he had initially.
You might have a test pattern up on the screen. And Peralta strikes out, so how about that? A very good start for rookie Nick Greenwood, a 1-2-3 first in his first big league start. We are scoreless after 1.
be able to get back in the starting rotation and just prove to myself and I think the organization that I can be a successful starter, and have had a better year this year than I did my first year. And going back and forth from the bullpen to the starting rotation, I think just having a few years under my belt, I'm a much smarter pitcher now and understand how to navigate through a full season better.
That is our Geico quote of the game from Josh Collmenter. What he's learned this year, and of course, guys, going for his 12th win of the season. And for Josh, it's been a learning experience. He learned how to navigate a season, but also through a lineup as well. The knock on Josh used to be getting through the second and third time around in a lineup, but of course, with a better breaking ball, he's done that. So he's got big expectations for himself, and the organization knows they can count on him, much like they could back in 2011 when he won that pivotal Game 3 in the series against the Brewers, guys.
Well, speaking of big city, Matt Adams leads off the second inning against Collmenter with a double. So Matt Adams now 4 for 8 in the series, his 34th double this year. Leadoff man in scoring position for Daniel Descalso, who's in there at third base now. I don't think there's any question that Josh Collmenter has been, if not the most consistent, the best starting pitcher the Diamondbacks have had this year. And in terms of the rotation next season, if you can find 5 better starting pitchers currently on the roster than Josh Collmenter, good luck to you. That's lifted in the air, right field. David Peralta coming in. 1 down in the second.
Well, when the team really needed it the most, Josh was the guy in the rotation that was able to step up and give them some innings, give the bullpen a little bit of a breather down there. There were a lot of very short starts, especially earlier in the season, and that bullpen was ragged at times, and Josh seemed to be the guy that would step up and give you 6, 7, 8, maybe a complete game, give that bullpen a little bit of a day off. You need a guy or 2 or 3 like that in your rotation.
Adams at second after a leadoff double. And the catcher Tony Cruz steps in.
It's very odd the way everything transpired this morning. I was talking to the Cardinals bench coach Mike Aldretti before the game, and he actually approached Mike Matheny last night and said, you know, what if that Reds-Pirates game is 9-0 in the 7th inning when we get started? Will Wainwright still start? Oh, yeah.
Not so much.
The only way Wainwright would not start this game is if the Pirates-Reds game went final with the Reds winning, and that's what happened at about 5 minutes till 1 today. And very quickly, Nick Greenwood ran down to warm up. Adam Wainwright came in to celebrate with his teammates, and I understand Mike Matheny. You don't want to do anything to upset the baseball gods. It's just another game. You play it just like you would any other game until it becomes different.
And Wainwright was down there warming up in the bullpen at 5 minutes before 1, all set to go here. But once the Pirates beat the Reds at Great American Ballpark, or pardon me, the Reds beat the Pirates and Aroldis Chapman closed it out. Pittsburgh's loss clinched the NL Central for St. Louis. So Greenwood went running out there, and Wainwright came walking back in, and here we are. And Tony Cruz is behind the plate, his 34th start this year. Yadier Molina will get a day off on day 162. Cruz 6 hits in his last 44 at bats. Has not hit a whole lot. Two and 2. This was Adam Wainwright in the Cardinal bullpen watching the scoreboard as he's throwing, knowing that the Reds were about to beat Pittsburgh 4-1 in Cincinnati. And there you go. It's a final. You're off the hook. Go relax.
It's a fist bump from Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach. Shakes some hands down there with guys in the bullpen and heads back into the dugout to celebrate with his teammates.
And Adam Wainwright, if you can save him. And boy, Mike Matheny really caught a break. I mean, they had their horse all lined up today. Already a 20-game winner, a 2.38 ERA, 5th best of the major leagues, and now he's going to get extra rest.
And Wainwright had been on quite a roll of his own over his last 3 starts. 24 innings, only 16 hits, 1 run, 23 strikeouts, and 3 walks.
It's a fly ball to shallow left center field. Long run though for Ender Inciarte, but he's camped out underneath, and that's 2 down. I was kind of looking forward to getting to watch Adam Wainwright pitch today, because he has been just so ridiculously good this season, and had a chance to become just the 5th Cardinals pitcher ever to win 6 games in September. Instead, he gets the day off.
And once again, Adam Wainwright, we assume, is going to come up just a little bit short in the National League Cy Young voting because of the season Clayton Kershaw has had. He is in the top 3 just about every year, but has yet to win his first National League Cy Young award.
3 times in the last 4 years he has finished in the top 3 in the Cy Young voting, as Peter Borges is in there now. And Wainwright, I mean, it's almost not fair the way he's kind of been nosed out of the Cy Young vote by Clayton Kershaw's dominance, because Wainwright has been right there with him. I mean, last season Wainwright threw 5 complete games and 2 shutouts, finished second in the Cy Young voting to Kershaw. This year he's got 5 complete games and 3 shutouts, more wins and a much lower ERA than he had last year, and he is still going to finish behind Clayton Kershaw for the Cy Young. Kershaw might win the MVP as well.
Now, the individual awards obviously are a tremendous recognition of what you've accomplished over the course of the season, but I guarantee you Adam Wainwright is more looking forward to moving into the postseason and deep into the postseason than any individual awards.
Went to the World Series last year, lost to the Boston Red Sox. This is what it was supposed to look like, and two of the hottest pitchers in the National League going head to head on the last day of the season. Instead, it's a chance for the D-backs to win the series, their last of the season, against a division champion, and send their fans off with a victory. And for the Cardinals, a chance to kind of kick back and relax just before they start the postseason. 2-2 to Borges. Is in there. Jordan Baker says called strike 3. So Cole Mentor strands the leadoff double. No score here at Chase Field. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next, and by Jack in the Box. If the D-backs hit a home run today, score a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink. Back home in the great state of Arizona, and the way Mark Trumbo's been swinging, he might hit one out of the Grand Canyon with those high socks on day 162. Mark Trumbo going out in style in more ways than one. 237 and now 14 homers. He's got 3 hits in the series, 2 of them home runs last night. His 5th career multi-homer game and his 2nd this year. There's a roller to shortstop. Pete Kozma's there. And a good start in his first major league start for rookie Nick Greenwood. 4 up, 4 down.
Third baseman,
I imagine they had to, Bob, have given him some kind of warning. Look, if this thing ends early, you're going to get the tap on the shoulder. Just a guess?
Well, possibly, but you know, I don't know Nick Greenwood well enough to know what makes him tick. Some guys you'd rather not let him know. Hey, go take the ball, warm up. You're going to start. Let him know 2 minutes before. Other guys, you can tell them the night before. Hey, if something happens, Pirates get beat before we start, you're going to take the ball instead of Adam. And then maybe he tosses and turns and can't sleep all night. So I'm not sure exactly how the Cardinals handled it, but you know they had a plan B just in case things transpired the way they did.
And Nick Greenwood facing Jake Lamb now. 1-1. Jake at 236 and 4 homers. Greenwood originally a 14th round pick by the Padres in 09. They traded him at the deadline a year later. He was part of the 3-team deal in which San Diego sent Corey Kluber to Cleveland. They'd like to have that one back. Indians sent Jake Westbrook to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals sent Ludwig to the Padres. And he was in there and ended up in St. Louis from San Diego, and here he is. Corey Kluber might win the Cy Young in the American League. Jake Lamb gets one up in the air to shallow right center field. Oscar Taveras will yield to Peter Borges, and that's the second out.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. Today after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Tuffy goes a wish. The start on day 162 behind the plate, catching Josh Comenter. Tuffy was the catcher when Comenter faced the minimum earlier this year against the Cincinnati Reds. There's a roller to shortstop. Kozma one more time. And Greenwood so far 6 up, 6 down. No score through 2 at Chase Field. CenturyLink, your link to what's next when we come back. The chief baseball officer of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Tony La Russa, joins us in the booth. Joined in our broadcast booth by the D-backs chief baseball officer Tony La Russa. What about Mike Matheny there, the last minute switcheroo?
Well, I don't blame him. You know, it's one of those things where you go out there and your mind is celebrating, but your body's playing, and all kind of bad things happen. So they were fortunate they got the result just in time, and they took out Wainwright, so it was a smart move.
What does a rested Adam Wainwright mean for their postseason run? You're the best guy to ask about that.
Well, you know, you can over-rest a guy. You know, if you clinch too early. I mean, you want to clinch as soon as you can, but you clinch with a couple of weeks to go, then you got to worry. You know, it's a nice time to get guys healed and rested, but they lose that competitive edge. And this is a real night. You know, Wayne, he's so smart that he will be able to go up during the week. He'll have a couple of throws and simulate as much as he needs. He knows how he feels, so he will be very sharp on Friday night.
So you've got the Washington Nationals, who had Jordan Zimmerman throw a no-hitter today. You've got the Cardinals winning the Central. You've got the Dodgers, of course, in the West. You've got the Pirates and the Giants in the wild card. What do you think in terms of National League playoff chances?
To what I've learned over the years, and it's really exciting, but it's true. If you're good enough to qualify for October, you're good enough to win the first playoff game between wild cards, or a 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 7. I mean, the reality is that anybody who's good enough can win a short series. That's what makes it so exciting.
How is it different managing in the postseason versus the regular season? What's it like emotionally, strategically, preparation-wise, everything?
I think it's so much more fun because you don't have any restraints as far as the coaching staff and the manager. You know, throughout the season, at the early on, you make these decisions, but you're thinking long term because you got the second half of the season, and as you go along, you're always either rationalizing or protecting or thinking ahead. But once you get to the postseason, I mean, you literally, the way I was taught anyway, you literally think that each inning that you play could be the inning, not only that you win or lose that game, but you win or lose that series. So that kind of urgency makes it a lot of fun. You just kind of shoot the works.
Bob, what was it like for you?
Yeah, the sense of urgency, I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah, every pitch, the importance of every pitch, every play, every at-bat, every call by the umpire, every bounce that ball takes in the infield, it's just magnified beyond belief. I've told the story many times, Tony. I don't remember eating or sleeping during the World Series in 2001. I know I did, but I have no recollection of one meal I ate for 2 weeks.
Well, you had one of the most dramatic series of all time, because how many games were, I think maybe you had 2 blowouts, but the other 5 were just ridiculous nail biters where the team that was going to win didn't win, and right at the end it was. But that's, to me, is the fascinating part. In fact, I envied for years. We would get into the postseason, especially a 7-game series, and always either win or eliminate it early. It didn't really have that 7th game experience till well, we had one in '96 that went badly, but 04 and then again 06 and 11. And that's the greatest. When you wake up in the morning and you dream about whatever it is, basketball or football, or no, it can't be football, but baseball, the Game 7, that is such a treat to be a part of. You'll never forget it. And I think it's just, you're taught to feel the urgency, but the reality is that when you go back, it may be one play in the first inning that made the difference in the game.
Have you had that type of conversation or relayed stories about that moment to some of the Diamondbacks here in your new position?
Well, I just told them that at 4 o'clock today, about 4 o'clock, we will be tied for first place for 2015.
That's true.
And not to let anybody try to belittle or in fact, they can get in a fight if they want to. Anybody gets on us, because you guys have had a really tough season. You fought to the end, but the heart they've shown and some of the experience for our young guys, starting at 0-0, things will be much better. So we need to take care of the all season so they're ready to come to spring training and get some work done.
So you spoke to the team today?
We're doing it individually in groups.
Gotcha.
Got most of the pitchers, and after the game I'll catch the I did it with Dave Duncan and Mike Harkey. So after the game, it's just to give them a thought going into the offseason.
We'll talk more about that when we come back from Chase Field. Heather, when you see that shot, what comes to mind? What do you think about what you've done here so far?
Tremendous experience, championship experience. And I particularly like, you look at Bob Gedman and there's Kevin behind him. I mean, these guys have been going through this. And then one thing I like so much about DeJohn and Dave, they bring a lot of newness, but they have a ton of experience in areas that, we could use bolstering. So I just think we're going to check all the boxes. I mean, whatever you think we need for our organization, whether it's from scouting to developing to roster determination or coaching and teaching, I think we're going to be able to do it.
Well, we talked about what it's like to manage in the postseason. Both you gentlemen have gone through it as Cliff Pennington leads off the inning with a base hit. Where are the Diamondbacks in the process for their next manager?
Well, we've started informally having some talks with that group we just discussed, getting some names, starting to make a list. We'll get at it real seriously tomorrow. We're going to, in the morning, we're going to meet with our coaching staff to evaluate our roster and start to identify needs for 2015, what you're going to do during the winter. But the manager is the next priority, and we're going to put a list of names together and then kind of discuss them. And I think one thing I can contribute is I think I know the qualities that we want the manager to possess, and so we'll evaluate some of the suggested candidates and narrow the list, and then we'll make some calls.
What are those qualities?
Well, nowadays I think leadership is first and foremost. I mean, before you ever start talking about playing the game, you got to be able to get the guys' frame of mind right. They need to listen to you. You need to create a culture where the players make the commitment, take responsibility themselves. A nice group of leaders that will police the clubhouse. I mean, it's not rocket science, but there are pieces that come together, and if you miss a piece, you're not as good.
What's been the reaction from around baseball to the Dave Stewart and DeJohn Watson hires?
Well, the people that have been exposed to those two gentlemen, which are a lot, I think, I've gotten a ton of congratulations, and they'll do a good job. I think there is, a uniqueness and an unusualness to how we're going to be making decisions at the top. That's why it's so important to know that there are other people there that are involved in the process. But I think there are some skeptics that we can pull this together, which puts that chip on your shoulder. That's always healthy. Bob knows what that feels like.
Oh yeah. You surprised by that, the skeptics?
No, I mean it's new enough. The only thing somebody asked me about Dave. Well, you take some of the top general managers around now. They started sometime without any experience. You got to get a start. But Dave does have a lot of background, a lot of experience, and here again, DeJohn Watson. I had never really been around except say hello when I've been in extended meetings with him, and
he's impressive.
Very impressive. Yeah. He's got a lot to offer.
How important was it, Tony, to bring in eyes from maybe outside the organization? Sometimes when you're too close to things, your opinions and attitudes can be swayed a little bit because you know the guys.
Well, I think, Bob, what you wanted, that nice balance. If everybody came in cold turkey, then you'd have this learning process that would really be a detriment to us because we'd be behind the 8 ball. But you mix in what they have and the newness of whether it's approach, whether it's information about contacts, and I think it makes for a healthy mix. And that's why we said all along, we're going to mix and match our group, and I think we've got a lot of boxes covered, and it's a tough competition. I've been around now long enough, 3 years out of it, that there's some real good front offices, and we need to be competitive.
We've seen a shot of Dave Duncan in the booth over there, and Dave was with us in spring training this year in uniform, parked right behind the batting cage, watching the pitchers throw. Does his level of involvement increase with your arrival as you look toward next year?
I think Dave has earned a determination of how involved he wants to get. And lately when we talked, he's getting more and more into what we're doing to the point where, hey, what are we doing the next couple of days? And I tell him, I said, can you do that? He said, yes. So we're excited because he's got a lot to offer. And we mentioned this off the air a minute ago. It's so important to work through the coaches. So Dave has a working relationship with Mike and with Todd. So, he can really be better that way, working through them, but not being separate from them.
The current, you mentioned Mike Harkey and Nel Sotomayor Jr.
Nel.
Is there
just I think about that other guy?
Yeah. Exactly. Is there a decision? Has that been made, or will that be made about the current coaches other than Alan Trammell? Or is that up to the new manager? How does that work?
That's a great question, Chief. That's a very, very good question. So I'll see if I can dodge that one for the next.
I only brought it up because you mentioned it.
No, I think that the new manager has an expectation that should be surrounded by quality baseball guys, and he should have some ability to bring in some guys that he has learned from his experience would be an asset to the staff. The question always is, how many do you give them, and how many do you present to them? Mm-hmm. So that's going to be an individual call depending on who the guy is.
Present to him meaning this guy is going to be your hitting coach, for example. Right. And you have to be okay with that.
Well, if you want to put it that way, I guess that would be probably a little bit cuter and would be so. But I think in the end, we know this organization. If you have when I went to Oakland, nobody said I had to take Dave McKay, but they told me how great he was, and they were right.
It worked out pretty well, didn't it?
Yeah. So I think whoever comes in, Dave McKay is the first base coach, because you can't replace him. But like I say, we'll pay respects to the new manager, and he'll have an opinion, and we've all been there, so we're not going to just say, hey, our way or the highway. We'll work together, and usually you work it out.
Chance to get the first run on the board here with Ender Inciarte. Has Ender's season, Tony, do you think, changed the way you look at 2015? Because this kid's a player.
Well, I can remember when I got here, he wasn't playing, and then he got a chance to play and hit under 200, and now he's hitting 280. And yes, I think what you look at is the outfield situation gets deeper. I remember the first game I saw him, he hit a ball to left field, and it went back to the warning track off his front foot. And I said, when a guy has that kind of carry, means he's getting down and through it and getting the right spin, and he is a very good looking total complete player. So what he's done with his at bats, pitchers are already starting to work him, and he's still having success. So in fact, one of the messages after the game will be for him and David, when you go home, everybody's telling you how great you are, just make sure it's what you do next. There it is. Get down, please.
That's the final out. They strand the runner at third. D-backs Chief Baseball Officer Tony La Russa, sir, thank you and best of luck in what I'm sure will be a very busy offseason.
Appreciate it. Always.
Thanks, Tony. To the top half of the fourth inning, no score, each team with a hit. Josh Colementor will face Randall Grichuk to start the inning here. The 2-3-4 hitters in the Cardinals lineup, followed by Oscar Taveras and Big City Matt Adams. Adams, the only Cardinal hit in the ball game. He doubled leading off the second inning. He'll be due up third in this inning.
Ball one from Josh Colmentor. Grichuk a pair of hits in the series, both singles. Josh Colmentor, 35 pitches, 23 for strikes. Just the one hit allowed so far. No scores. We start the fourth on day 162. The Cardinals are the NL Central champs. Pirates lost 4-1 at Cincinnati earlier today. And some last-minute changes for Mike Matheny's team. We were looking at a potential 3 tiebreaker games, but it looks like we might go 0 for 3 there, because the Central, that's all worked out. The Pirates and the Giants are the NL wildcard teams, and over in the American League, that one's fouled away. You've got the Tigers, who won at home against the Twins 3-0. The Royals are leading the White Sox in Chicago 5-4, so that looks like it might work itself out. And then Oakland leads at Texas 2-0, while the Mariners lead at Safeco Field against the Angels 1-0 in the third. So all kinds of scenarios there. The Royals needed to beat Chicago and have the Tigers lose to the Twins to get a 1-game tiebreaker tomorrow at Comerica Park. But the Tigers have already won. And in the AL West, the A's can clinch a wild card spot if they beat Texas. And again, they are leading 2-0 right now. Or the Angels win at Seattle. Mariners leading 1-0. If the Mariners win over Anaheim and the A's lose, Seattle and Oakland plays a 1-game tiebreaker tomorrow at Safeco Field. As Colmentor strikes out Grichuk for the first out of the fourth, his second strikeout.
A little cut fastball out there off the outside corner. Gets the call from Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire. And as far as individually, congratulations to Jose Altuve, who will win the American League batting championship. Went 2 for 4 today, finished up hitting .341. Victor Martinez DHing today for the Tigers, went 0 for 3, finishes at .335.
There was a little bit of a stink about that. Jose Altuve was told, apparently, reportedly, by some people in the Astros organization that he would not be playing today, going into the final day of the season, leading the National League in hitting, and he insisted that, oh yes, I am playing, as Peralta makes a nice sliding grab for the second out. So he went in there, had a whole bunch of hits. He pulled a Ted Williams, basically.
Yeah.
A nice catch there by Peralta for the second out.
He didn't want to back into it. He wanted to earn it outright. Nice play by David Peralta in right. That ball was sinking in the gap in right center. Got himself a good jump. Took a great line right to the ball, and
Oscar Taveras
takes another base hit. Taveras, you may remember in his first at bat to end that first inning, hit a line drive out there to David Peralta.
He is a hitter, a 22-year-old. Big City has the Cardinals' only hit, that double to lead off the second, Matt Adams, who is 4 for 8 in the series. And he has not had a productive second half to the year. He hit nearly 300 with 11 homers in the first half. But his average since the All-Star break has dropped about 100 points, and he's only homered 4 times. And the shift is on, and this is something that he has seen all year long. Look at that. Left side of your screen wide open. And Adams, many times this season, has been contentious to poke it down the left field line and take that base hit. So the slugging percentage has been way down for him this year. About 50 points, in fact, from last season.
Yeah, occasionally you'll see teams play the shift on the infield to pull the ball, but play the outfield to hit it the opposite way. That's not the case with Big City. Everybody plays him to pull. Really, only the left fielder, Ender Inciarte, is playing close to a straight up position out there in left, but got a team meeting on the right side of the field here.
It's really hurt his production in the cleanup spot. The defensive overshifts. But he gets that one up in the air. It sends Peralta back to the track in right, but he's got room. Allowed fly ball out to end the fourth. So far, Josh Colmentor 4 scoreless. He's given up only 1 hit. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. We'll see Mark Trumbo coming up for the D-backs.
Haven't really gotten time to sit down and think about the whole season, but it's been a crazy year. Obviously, getting up here is a dream come true. And now, just talking to everybody, staying here is the hardest part. And that's my next goal is, staying here and. Haven't really gotten. Haven't really gotten time to sit down and think about the whole season, but it's been a crazy year. Obviously, getting up here is a dream come true. And now, just talking to everybody, staying here is the hardest part. And that's my next goal is, staying here and hopefully staying here for a while.
And that is the challenge through the eyes of a rookie, and we've seen many of them come up this season. Jake Lamb is one of them over at third base. He said he talked to Mike Bell, director of player development, early this morning, and that's when he started to think about the craziness of the season, and he was packing up his locker here. And guys, he's going to take a week and a half and totally do nothing, go back home to Seattle, and then he'll start working out and begin that challenge of trying to stay here at the majors and make an impact for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
He sure looks like a big part of the future here, Jody. Certainly Jake Lamb, the Washington Husky at third base. New pitcher for the Cardinals, former Red Sox and Indians pitcher Justin Masterson is in here as Nick Greenwood goes only 3 innings, so Masterson out. Acquired from Cleveland over the course of this season by the Cardinals, who picked up Masterson from Cleveland and John Lackey from Boston. A.J. Pollock, a bouncer to short. Pete Kozma. And Xavier Scruggs, the new first baseman, has it. He's in there for Matt Adams. Big Justin Masterson.
Like seeing Xavier Scruggs in the ball game. He was a teammate of my son Michael's at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Shown some tremendous power throughout the Cardinals minor league system. Had back-to-back 20-plus homer seasons at Palm Beach and twice at Springfield. Kind of log jammed there at first base with the Cardinals, a big city playing first, but good to see X in there.
David Peralta pops that one up. Kozma, the shortstop, has it. That's the second out.
And as far as Justin Masterson is concerned, sinker. That's a big-time ground ball pitcher. Also throws a slider, pitching out of the Cardinals bullpen right now.
He'll face Mark Trumbo. Yeah, Masterson 6'6", 250. He was acquired by the Cardinals from Cleveland the day before the trade deadline for James Ramsey. 8 appearances for the Cardinals, 6 starts, a 2-3 record, a 7.5 ERA. It has not worked out quite the way they'd hoped.
Just a quick note on Jose Altuve. Mentioned he won the American League batting championship with his 2 knocks today, giving him 225 on the season, the most in Astros franchise history for a single year.
225 hits. Sometimes he has to jump up off his feet to get him. We saw that the other day. Mark Trumbo can hit some balls, a whole lot of Altuve's. If you measured the distance in Altuve's, which is a popular thing to do on the interweb. Trumbo grounded out his first time. Up the middle. Colton Wong behind the bag throws him out. That's the inning. Masterson works a 1-2-3-4. No score here at Chase Field. Diamondbacks treat our season ticket holders like family, and if you want to become part of our family in 2015, give us a call, because next year's season tickets are on sale right now. You'll enjoy access to exclusive special events, take advantage of our flexible 12-month payment plans, and guarantee you're getting the best seats at the best prices. Get all the information you need online at dbacks.com/tickets, and we'll see you here next year. It promises to be very entertaining and optimistic off season. Who knows what this thing's going to look like once the new regime rolls up its sleeves and gets going here this winter.
Well, you've got some people in position already who have, I would assume, different connections, and that's a big part of the game of baseball. Where are you connected? Which general managers, which organizations do you have good relationships with? I'm sure there will be a lot of movement this winter.
It's going to be interesting to watch. Daniel Descalso leads off the fifth against Josh Comenter. So far, he's given up only one hit. A double by Matt Adams to lead off the second.
And the reason I asked Tony the question about bringing in a new set of eyeballs and a new voice from outside the organization, because sometimes within your own organization, they have a term in this game: you fall in love with your own guys. I think back to when I was coaching with the San Francisco Giants under Dusty Baker. As that one's lined into right, Peralta will have to play it on a hop. Base hit for Descalso. And we had our organizational meetings at the end of the season. The major league coaching staff, all the minor league coaches, our scouts, the front office, everybody in a conference room. And we started to go down the roster. And at one point, I won't name the player, but his name came up. And it was almost unison, and oh yeah, he's great, yeah, we got to have him back, he's outstanding, he's outstanding. And finally, the one guy in the room who was from outside the organization, a newcomer so to speak, said, wait a minute, what do we like about him? Does he hit? Well, a little bit. Does he have any power? Well, not really. Is he a good defender? Average. Can he run? Average. Why do we like him so much? Well, because he was our guy. We had drafted him. We'd seen him go through the minor leagues. We'd seen him do all those things. But yet somebody from outside who didn't have that connection said, wait a minute, why do we like this guy so much?
Sound like Brad Pitt in Moneyball.
Well, it's true. And sometimes you need that outside voice and that outside set of eyeballs to look at your own guys.
You got a few new sets of eyeballs here. Chase Field, where they are. Gephardt in the middle, to John Watson on the right, Dave Duncan on the left. Along with the new senior VP and GM Dave Stewart, Chief Baseball Officer Tony La Russa, Kevin Towers in there with him. One and one to Tony Cruz. Descalso takes off. The throw from Gozowish is in time. Tuffy throws him out.
I give a little bit of credit that time to Josh Comenter. He held the ball for a long time out there on the mound, kind of froze Descalso over there at first base, did not get a good jump, and Tuffy threw a laser beam right on the bag for an easy out at second base.
It's lifted in the air to right center field. Three guys out there converging, and Peralta comes in and makes the catch in front of Cliff Pennington for the second out.
David's been busy out there in right field already in this ballgame. Nice sliding catch this time. Fortunately, Cliff Pennington apparently heard the call, veered out of the way at the last instant to avoid that collision.
Peter Borges up with 2 down and nobody on. Borges struck out looking his first time. It's our last broadcast of the year here on Fox Sports Arizona. There's so many people we want to thank, and I want to start in the booth right next to the one we keep showing you. And there, standing up, gazing into his phone, is Rob Weinheimer. There's Noah Berlin waving. We're going to thank all those guys. Chuck Drago over there. Our whole media crew, the DBTV crew here at Chase Field. There's Rob, thumbs up. Steve Silvertooth, Noah Berlin, Bobby Freeman, the great Bobby Freeman, Steve Miller, of course, Jeff Cederbaum, everybody over there. That's the group that's responsible for everything you see and hear here in the ballpark, and they do a tremendous job. They are the first ones here, I'm telling you that. God's honest truth. They are the first ones here every day, and they are the last to leave. They get here before we get here. And they have done a tremendous job all season long, keeping the fans informed and entertained, and we want to give them their props and say thank you from both Bob and I here in the broadcast booth. We'll go to the home half of the fifth on game 162. No score, D-backs and Cardinals. Between innings here at Chase Field, Diamondbacks players, Bob, out on the field, and some messages on the DBTV board thanking the fans for 2014.
A nice gesture on the part of the organization to thank the fans for coming out here this season. What's been a really tough year for the Diamondbacks on the field, but the fans have been great throughout, showing their support, coming out here in big numbers this year to support the team and hoping for better things next year.
And D-back Nation, and you and I know we want to say thank you as well to everyone who's not only been here at Chase Field but watched with us on Fox Sports Arizona. You guys have hung in, and we appreciate it. We admire you for it, and we thank you, and we will see you for what I'm sure will be a very exciting 2015. Nick Lamb has that one go off the glove of Scruggs at first, but they recover in time to get the out.
You know, partner, not only here in the Valley of the Sun, you expect the Diamondback fans to come out here, but everywhere we travel around baseball, we've seen more and more Sedona red, occasionally a little purple and teal mixed in. Diamondbacks fans spread all over the country.
What I love about this fan base, and you know, I grew up in Boston. You spent a lot of time in Chicago. We know about passion, and this fan base in my 2 years here is interested, it is engaged, it is enthusiastic, and they are ready to win. And I think they sense that this organization is headed in the right direction. Things are very close. They see what's happening in Visalia and Mobile and Reno. They see it here as well. And I think there's a lot of optimism for 2015, and there should be, frankly.
Absolutely.
Tuffy Gozawish gets that up in the air to right field. Oscar Taveras is there, and we are flying along here, 2 down in the fifth.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, come on, score 6. Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Cliff Pennington, he's got the only D-backs hit a single to lead off the third.
2 balls and no strikes. We also want to thank, among the many people, and Bob, this I know I'm going to speak for both of us here. We want to thank the home clubhouse staff, which has done an amazing job all year long. Lupe Uribe, Sean Moore, Jimmy Garrett, Chad Shiffin, those guys work like dogs.
J.C. Marks, all those guys down there in the clubhouse. I mean, not only making sure the players have everything they need to be happy and productive every day at the ballpark. They're out there loading and unloading luggage at 3 o'clock in the morning, doing laundry at 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure everything's ready to go for the next day. And they get very little credit, but we would definitely like to thank them.
Schiff and Jimmy and Sean and Lupe, and of course our senior director of team travel, Roger Riley. That whole staff has done a phenomenal job. They keep things running here behind the scenes. You never see their work, but their work is endless. They are tireless. And our sincere thank you to Roger and the entire staff. They have done a phenomenal job here through a difficult season. Well, Cliff Pennington 2 for 2. Here's Didi. I still would like to find out how the governor is always the first bag off the truck. I sense some kind of scandal. I think an arrangement has been made, but he is always the first bag off the truck.
He's got the most seniority, for crying out loud. He's been here since day one, before day one.
How about that? There's so many things that go on here. It's such a great work environment here that the Diamondbacks create, and it really is a family here at Chase Field, and there's so much that goes on with all the people behind the scenes, and we're glad that we can spend a few moments here today in our last game of the year thanking them, showing them on TV if we get the chance, and giving them the tip of the cap and a wag of the finger. Indeed, he's closing out his year with a terrific series, 4 for 10 so far, a couple of RBIs. And he's got an 8-game hit streak on the line to end the year. Now, remember, Didi was with us in Sydney way back March 22, 23. And then the shortstop job went to Chris Owings, and Didi went to Reno, where he stayed for all of April and May, but came back up, played about half of June, and then the final 3 months of the season kicked in, and he really started playing mostly every day, and we have seen a lot of progress, I think, with the bat. Hit .295 in July, and a tough August, but he's back over .270 in the final month of the year. He has certainly shown for extended stretches here this year that there's a chance that that bat is going to catch up to the glove, and when it does, they are going to have quite a player on their hands here. Because he is already elite defensively, among the best. Justin Masterson, his second inning of relief after Nick Greenwood got the start. Adam Wainwright scratched at the last minute when the Cardinals clinched the NL Central only moments before first pitch. Didi drives that one to right center field, but Borges has good speed and he tracks it down. No score through 5 on day 162.
Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Phoenix International Raceway. Don't miss the NASCAR semifinals on November 9th. Get tickets for the Quicken Loans Race for Heroes 500 at phoenixraceway.com. And by Panda Express, introducing Panda Express online ordering. 6th inning, there is the great Ralph Kelso. High above courtside, in the words of the late great Johnny Most. Ralph, one of the great members of our crew. There's Holly. Hello, Holly. She's right down there by the dugout, right by the D-backs dugout, working our camera down there. Tony Tosti high above courtside as well. Tony locked in. And where's Jimmy? Do we have Jimmy? Pete Kozma laces one into the gap in left center field, and Kozma, as it rolls all the way to the track, has a leadoff double. So we want to say hello and thank you to Ralph and Holly and Tony and Jimmy Rincon as well.
First baseman Xavier.
There he is. Everybody here. And again, they get here first and they leave last, and they do a tremendous job on their feet, working hard, laying cables, getting your shots, all the stuff that goes in to putting a baseball game on TV. Our crew is the best, and they do a fantastic job. They are tireless, and we want to thank them profusely. Xavier Scruggs.
Well, what really makes our job easy is that all of our camera guys know baseball. They understand the game. They understand where to go, where the next shot should be. Some of the great video we've had of the catchers out here working at 1:30 in the afternoon, or the outfielders doing drills at 1:30 in the afternoon, and the camera guys are standing by at the ready just in case there's something that might be of interest to our viewers that night.
Now, if we could just get Dennis Lamb to do something.
I know.
I mean, Ralph will back me up on this if he could communicate with us. Dennis is up here, and, you know, all these, they're down there working. What do you think Dennis Lamb is doing right? Look at him, feet up.
Kicking back.
I mean, come on, man. There's Zacher. Kurt, who keeps track of all our stats. There's BB. Here we are up in our booth. And Dennis Lamb, feet up, lounging as usual. Usually he's reading a magazine.
Eating, cactus corn.
Eating cactus corn. We're kidding, of course. Dennis makes sure that you can hear us. And sometimes is not a good thing. He's responsible for all our audio and does a tremendous job. 1-2 on Xavier Scruggs. Took over for Matt Adams at first base.
I mentioned Xavier Scruggs, 3 consecutive 20-plus homer seasons in the minor leagues. Big time power. This is one of those guys, the ball makes a different sound coming off his bat. The issue has been consistently making contact. He will strike out a bunch.
3 hits in 13 big league at bats. 27 years old, turned 27 earlier this month. 4 straight 20 homer seasons in 3 different minor league levels. 29 home runs in Double-A last year. And fans, don't think we forgot about you. It's your last chance. Now, I'm going to make you pick this. This is going to be on you for once.
I'll take it.
The AT&T fan photo. So tweet us your fan photo on the Twitter with a hashtag and the whole thing AZ fan photo for your chance to have Bob Brenly, the president and chairman emeritus of the Brenly Committee, personally select your fan photo. And we'll reveal the winner that Bob has personally selected later in the broadcast. Did you actually pick one already?
Well, you know, I have a list of fan photos that we try to work our way through.
We'll come back to the mound. Kozma gets into third. Cole Mentor throws out Scruggs. 1 away. Well, I'm anxious to see what you've come up with here.
Second baseman.
Our AT&T fan photo, and this is the big winner. The final one of 2014. Oh, that is the famous Brandon Webb varmint picture.
The varmint picture.
That was the inspiration for the no varmints rule.
Forced us to change the guidelines for the AT&T fan photo.
The most controversial fan photo of the year. Did we ever figure out what that was?
That's a varmint. A hedgehog, I believe. Yeah.
Golden Wong now. 1 out. Cosma, the runner at third. The infield in.
Of course, in the AT&T fan photo, there are no losers.
Well,
other than Webby.
Thank you. Boy, he took a beating when he picked that one.
Yes, he did. Rightfully so.
Yep.
I mean, look around this ballpark. You could walk around with your cell phone camera. All these good-looking fans wearing their D-backs gear, and they're into the ball game. And he fires a picture of a hedgehog. You got to be kidding me.
Just find one eating a slice of pizza. You got yourself an instant winner with Bob Brenly.
Yep. Holding a picture of the World Series trophy. We may use it every day for the rest of our lives.
2-0 to Colton Wong. Edie Gregorius, no chance to get Cosma, who raced in from third with the game's first run, and the Cardinals take the lead.
Well, Diamondbacks had their infield drawn in. Unfortunately, the ball just wasn't hit hard enough to Didi to even have a chance at Cosma at home plate. It'll be an RBI ground out for Colton Wong.
Does this have to be hit hard and directly at him to even have a chance?
Well, it doesn't have to really be. It has to be hit harder than that. I mean, a little two-hop chopper to the left side. Didi tried to cut it off a step or two in, but just no chance to get Cosma, who had a good jump off third base.
Josh Colemunter has given up only 3 hits through 5 2/3, but now trails at 1-0. Diamondbacks just 2 hits so far. A pair of Cliff Pennington singles. Randy Grichuk steps in. Grichuk has flied out and struck out looking. He's 0 for 2. This is a young man you need to keep your eye on. Just turned 23 years old last month. Former #1 pick by the Angels. Cardinals got him in the David Freese deal along with Peter Borges. Drafted 1 spot ahead of Mike Trout. And he strikes out for the 2nd time today. But the Cardinals get a run. Josh Colemunter trails it 1-0. on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Sanderson Ford. Game 162 on a Sunday in downtown Phoenix. The D-backs against the NL Central champion St. Louis Cardinals, and they trailed the Cardinals 1-0 as we start the bottom of the 6th. The Pirates losers 4-1 in Cincinnati. That game ended right before our ball game began. So with that Pittsburgh loss, St. Louis clinched the National League Central. So this game is meaningless for them. So no Adam Wainwright. They're on their third pitcher. It's the left-hander Kevin Segrist in there to face Josh Collingwood.
Fastball slider changeup combination from Segrist, although you'll see mostly fastballs, four-seamers and sinkers, mid-90s. Yeah, it's a real balancing act for Mike Matheny. Yeah, some of his relievers probably could use an inning or two of work in this ball game today in preparation for the postseason. Other guys don't need the work. Yadier Molina will not be seen on the field today.
Greg Garcia takes over for Colton Wong at second base. 3-1 to Colementor. Segrist has been struggling as of late. He was a big arm for them last year in the postseason. Trying to get some work in. Ender Inciarte is on deck. Ender needs a base hit to take that hitting streak into next year. Right now it's at 15 games, and Colementor gets the leadoff walk. So here comes Ender, who so far is 0 for 2. He has it in 15 straight, batting even 400 during his streak. But 0 for 2 today. He has tapped back to the mound and lined out to center. 26 hits in his last 15 games. That's after he had the 18-gamer last month. And it would be nice to see Ender get to carry that streak into next season. Paul Goldschmidt did that this year. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Strike one. Here's Goldie. It was terrific to see him take live batting practice yesterday. And there with Andy Green, who was the manager at AA Mobile this year. And we're told will be considered for the managerial job with the Diamondbacks, one of the in-house candidates. And he has coached a lot of these guys we've seen at AA. Jake Lamb was the Southern League MVP for Andy Green this year with Mobile. One and one to Ender Inciarte. Josh Colementor, the runner at first. Flare out to left. Grichuk is there, and he makes the catch. Inciarte 0 for 3. He thought that one was going to get down.
We've been looking back at some of the great moments this season. Back on May 20th, A.J. Pollock, remember this? Hit the wall. The ball came out of his glove as he's tumbling to the warning track. Swats it and able to keep it in his glove and make the play. One of just a number of tremendous plays A.J. Pollock has made out there in center field this year.
And here he is 0 for 2 so far. What a year it's been for A.J. This is lifted in the air along the right field line in foul ground, headed toward the seats and out of play. 22 games now since A.J. returned from that broken hand that kept him out all of June, July, and August. Since he returned from the DL, he's hit better than 280 with 9 RBIs. Boy, he was playing so well before he got hurt. That stretch of 39 games just before the injury, during which he hit almost 360.
No question he was on his way to the All-Star game July 15th in Minneapolis on Fox, but the injury short-circuited that.
of course, Fox and Fox Sports 1 will have the postseason as well. National League Division and Championship Series on America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1. And that all starts this week. I'm glad we got the chance to go to Target Field where they play the All-Star game this year. It's an absolute jewel of a ballpark.
That's another must-see for those of you Diamondbacks fans who like to go to games out of town, see some new ballparks. If and when the Diamondbacks go back to Minneapolis, highly recommend you get out and see Target Field.
Don't forget, this October, history will be made. Baseball's postseason moves to America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1, your new home for baseball's National League Division and Championship Series. It all starts on Friday. Cardinals are the NL Central champs, National League all sets. You've got the Giants and the Pirates in the wild card game. The winner is out, or pardon me, the loser is out. The winner gets the Nationals. And the Cardinals will take on the Dodgers in the division series. Washington Nationals had a no-hitter today. Jordan Zimmerman no-hit Miami 1-0 in Nats Park in game 162. They get the winner of the wild card game.
That's good managing.
Get him out there.
Attaboy, Matty.
Good omen anyway.
Yeah.
And you might remember that in game 162 last year it was the Marlins who threw a no-hitter. Anderson Alvarez had a no-hitter to win the season, and this year they get no hit at Nats Park by Jordan Zimmerman.
Yeah, Zimmerman's no-hitter this year on the final day of the regular season, the 5th in baseball history. Mike Witt also did it back in 1984. The A's had a combined no-hitter on the final game of this season back in '75, and of course the one we all remember back in 1892 when Bumpus Jones pitched a no-hitter on the final game of the season.
You're making that up.
No.
Jordan Zimmerman retires Christian Yelich. Look at Steven Souza make that game-saving and no-hitter saving catch in the gap in left center field. Steven Souza, by the way, was an Arizona Fall League star last year. We also want to mention the Fall League opens up in 9 days all over the valley. But Jordan Zimmerman was the first no-hitter in Nationals history. And how about a no-hitter on the last day of the year? Also in Washington baseball history, the first no-hitter by a Washington big league pitcher since Bobby Burke in 1931 at Griffith Stadium. Pitching change for the Cardinals back after this. Back at Chase Field, D-backs down 1-0, but threatening 2 on 1 out for David Peralta to face the new Cardinal pitcher. This is Marco Gonzalez, the left-hander. First pitch swinging is rolled to second. Garcia, Cosmo, and they roll the double play. One pitch, And Gonzalez ends the threat. We are through 6. D-backs trail it 1-0.
And it's time for more fan appreciation day prize giveaways. This lucky fan is going to win a 2.
Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Cox Communications. Bundle and save with Cox. Hey fans, coming up in October on Fox Sports Arizona, the Arizona Coyotes open up their season. They'll take on Winnipeg Thursday, October 9th. A special 1-hour Coyotes Live pregame show starts at 6, and then the Suns get underway against the Lakers Wednesday the 29th. Suns Live pregame at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Bob Brenly already has his Coyotes tickets in hand.
Yeah, yes indeed. Got my envelope full of Coyotes tickets today. Howling for you.
Already the 7th inning, Oscar Taveras leads it off for the Cardinals. Josh Colementor has given up only 1 run on 3 hits through 6, but trails it 1-0. Taveras so far 0 for 2. He is twice flying out to right. Down the line at first. A nice play by Mark Trumbo. Josh Colementor covers 1 away. We want to give a special thank you to the Diamondbacks managing general partner Ken Kendrick, president, CEO Derek Hall. There he is with his lovely wife Amy. They make everything we do possible, and we don't lose sight of that. We want to give them our sincere thanks, Mr. Kendrick and Derek, and of course the new staff here, Tony La Russa, Dave Stewart, to John Watson, the great Tom Harris and Cullen Maxey, Josh Rowich, and of course Gonzo, everyone here with the Diamondbacks. I know we speak for them, Bob, when we say thank you to the fans for hanging in there with us all year long and coming out to Chase Field, and we want to thank them for all they do here at the ballpark.
No question about it. Yeah, we're very used to seeing Derek Hall down in his customary seats right there in the front row behind the on-deck circle, but most nights Tom Harris is right there behind him. Tom and his wife Catherine come to almost every ball game.
Tom Harris, the Diamondbacks executive vice president and CFO. Nice play there by Jake Lamb. The throw out Garcia. Now here's Descalso. And of course, in speaking about the Diamondbacks, there's a lot of people to thank behind the scenes. There is the great Pat O'Connell on your right. Pat is a manager of player and media relations along with Casey Wilcox, Katie Krause, Jim Myers, everybody. Well, there's Jim Myers right there.
Good timing, Jim.
About to take the long march down the aisle. Still trying to talk him out of it. He insists it's the right move. We're kidding, of course. It's Pat and Jimmy and Casey, all those guys, Katie Krause, provide us with all our information, provide you with information, the fan base, the ball club. Led by Josh Green, our director of publications. And Jennifer Stewart, who was always running around on the field taking pictures. Descalso hits this one deep to center. And AJ is there to track it down for the final out of the top of the 7th inning. Stretch time on the last day of the season. It's 1-0 St. Louis.
With the sing of God Bless America.
Don't forget, play Kachenko by signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game. And as we play Take Us Out to the Ball Game, Bobby Freeman. Cardinals leading the D-backs 1-0 as we await the start of the bottom of the 7th inning. Steve Berthew, Bob Brentley with you. And as we say thank you to the fans and all the staff here at Chase Field, and we put a period on the 2014 season, we want to thank, of course, our Fox Sports Arizona staff who work so hard here, not just at this ballpark, but all year long. There's Jody Jackson down there on the job. Yeah, right there, Jody. See? Hello. You're on candid camera. She's down there in the trenches. Bobby Freeman goofing around up there. And, of course, Cindy Brunson, their second season as a Fox Sports Arizona host and reporter. And a very special thank you to Brian Hogan, Fox Sports Arizona Senior VP and GM, along with Craig Ritchie, the executive producer, and Mark Rita, the coordinating producer, and our entire Fox Sports Arizona staff. Bill Cochran, our producer, Mitch Riggin, the director, Meg Buchan, the graphics coordinator. Here's Brian Henry, who produces the pre- and post-game shows for you, along with Heather Berry and Graham Taylor. The whole crew on the last day of work for a while. For some of us.
They've got their hands full trying to make us look good every day. And we do appreciate their efforts and can't wait to start next year. Like Tony said, at 0-0. Start over again. Tied for first.
Mark Trumbo leads off the 7th against Gonzalez. Mark so far 0 for 2. He has twice grounded out. Finishing with a flourish. 6 home runs and 21 RBIs in his last 13 games. And the home runs came from Mark in waves this year. Had 7 homers in his first 21 games before he went down April 21st with that stress fracture and plantar fasciitis in his foot, out 2.5 months. Came back just before the All-Star break, and the power just kind of vanished. He played 55 games, hit 1 home run. But what a finish he's having. 6 homers, 21 RBIs over the last 13. And of course, 2 of them last night. They are celebrating in Oakland right now. The A's. Sonny Gray pitches a shutout. He blanks Texas 4-0, so Oakland is in. Archambault lifts one a mile high down the left field line, but drifting near the seats and out of play. So that takes care of the American League wild card, because the Tigers clinched the Central. They beat the Twins at Comerica Park 3-0. So they got no help. The Royals didn't get any help. They won at Chicago 6-4 over the White Sox. So it is the Royals. And remember, Bob, will never be Royals, as the song says.
That's right.
Their first postseason appearance since they won the World Series in '85. They'll take on the Oakland A's in the American League wild card game as Trumbo strikes out.
And then the winner of that wild card game will walk right into the buzzsaw that is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Southern California, North America, Orange County. Yeah, the Angels, boy, they really finished strong. Just kind of sputtered along most of the season, but hit their stride and just ran away and hit.
And it shows you can build a bullpen over the course of the year. It's not easy, but Jerry Dipoto certainly did that with some of their bullpen acquisitions like Vinny Pestano and Houston Street and Jason Grithen. Here's Jake Lamb. Another reason to be so optimistic for 2015 and beyond. Finish to the season we've seen from Jake Lamb, the 23-year-old rookie. He'll turn 24 in a couple of weeks. 0 for 2 so far, and he is our APS Energy All-Star along with Aaron Blair. They were named today the organizational player and pitcher of the year. Aaron Blair had a tremendous season, just skyrocketing through the D-backs minor league system. Their second first-round pick from last year out of Marshall. And he had a tremendous year, big pitcher who there's a lot of people in this organization excited. Maybe even next year might see him up here. You never know. But we know what Jake Lamb has done. So congratulations to both Jake and Aaron, our APS Energy All-Stars. Jake, of course, was named the Southern League's most outstanding player, playing for Andy Green as he strikes out. He won the batting title at .318 there. Second team minor league All-Star by Baseball America.
A rare change-up from a left-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter. Most left-handed pitchers prefer to throw the breaking ball to the left-handed hitters and use the change-up on the righties. But a real good fading change-up that time for strike 3.
And if you haven't kept an eye on what Aaron Blair did this year, he had himself a season. Started out in South Bend, went to Visalia, finished in Mobile. That's 3 different levels. And along the way, he led every league he was in strikeouts the month he was there. Midwest League in April had 43 strikeouts. June in the Cal League, 39 strikeouts. Struck out 171 guys this year. Tied for second most among all minor league pitchers. That's all of them, not just Diamondbacks. And he lost only once in his last 16 starts on the year. Finished up in Mobile down there with Archie Bradley and Braden Shipley, the first-round pick from last year from Nevada. Duffy shoots that one right by Dave McKay at first, and there to pounce on it is Ron Pennington.
Nice.
Making a defensive gem.
Finish strong, Ron. Nice play.
How about Ron down there, our Golden Glover down the right field line. I think he's tipping his cap to the crowd. There's Doc Rosenblatt poised and ready. Here's another look at Ron Pennington.
Foot quickness, plays the angle, keeps that glove down. Outstanding.
Nobody can move a pair of khakis like Ron Pennington. This is on the ground is short. Pete Kozma. The Diamondbacks so far with only 2 hits, a couple of Cliff Pennington singles, and they trail it 1-0.
One to nothing on the Diamondbacks here at Chase Field as we enter the 8th inning. Emotional day. The fans already missing these players and baseball, already looking forward to next year. And for the players, while they're having logistical issues today, as many of them will leave town very shortly, some that live here just packing up their lockers. But Alan Trammell was very reflective before today's game, talking about keeping the guys focused, and he felt they would be today, and that's been the case. And for Alan Trammell, though, coming over October 2010 as Kirk Gibson's bench coach, finishing these last 3 games, knowing he won't be back, he said his plan is as scheduled, going home to San Diego tomorrow. That's what he was going to do anyway, and he's looking for another opportunity in baseball. He said he's not ready to sit at home, guys, and neither is his wife, Barbara. They've been married for 36 years, so we wish Tram all the best, and certainly a guy that I've enjoyed talking about the game of baseball with over the last 5 years.
You will not find a warmer or more engaging gentleman than Alan Trammell. It's been a pleasure to spend a couple of years with him. Popped up behind the plate. Tuffy Gozowicz. 1 pitch, 1 out. Cruz is retired to open the 8th.
Another name we haven't mentioned yet, partner, and I know you echo these sentiments. She takes care of us like a den mother, Leslie Farrell. Her official title is Broadcasting and Multimedia Traffic Specialist.
Fancy title.
Yeah, she's the den mother. She makes sure everything in this broadcast department runs the way it's supposed to. She puts out fires on a daily basis. Couldn't do it without Leslie and her intern, Carrie Adams, this year. Thank you to both of you.
Yeah, Leslie and Carrie did a tremendous job taking care of this clown here to my left and myself. They made sure that we were settled in and had what we needed all year long, and we would be a wreck without them. So thank you, Leslie and Carrie. Josh Colemanter making quick work of the Cardinals here in the 8th. Pete Kozma, who has a double and scored the only run, is coming up. Just 3 hits for the Cardinals, 2 for the D-backs. St. Louis leads at 1-0 after clinching the NL Central earlier today when the Pirates lost 4-1 at Cincinnati.
Under normal circumstances, Pete Kozma would take until he got a strike in this at bat. 2 pitches, 2 quick outs, but I think the Cardinals team bus is double parked outside the stadium.
Well, he wants to finish up before they finish. Before they run out of drinks in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
champagne and other stuff. Keep something on ice for the guys that have to finish out the game. You got a feeling about the NL playoffs now that we know who's playing who?
Well, you know, like Tony said earlier, anybody that gets there has a chance to win. There's a reason you're going to the postseason, and any of the teams involved in the playoff have shown over the course of the season that at times they can dominate, they can win ball games. You know, in my heart of hearts, I'm rooting for Matt Williams and the Washington Nationals a little bit, but I just want to see good baseball.
I'm sure we will. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Coming up, Cliff Bennington. He's got the only 2 D-backs hits so far. He leads off the game. Diamondbacks offer youth baseball and softball camps year-round in Arizona through the D-backs Baseball Academy. You can register right now for the Black Friday camp, opened on November 28th to boys and girls age 6 through 14. The post-Thanksgiving camp includes training, a D-backs t-shirt, hat, lunch, and a ticket to a 2015 D-backs home game. You can sign up online today at dbacks.com/academy. 2 Utes. A whole bunch of changes out there. It's our first look. It's popped up to center field. Borges is still out there. You can tell by the socks.
The Tommy Pham era has begun. Randall Grichuk moves from left to right.
Marco Gonzalez rolling along. And we'll work to Didi Gregorius. Didi wants to keep his hit streak alive here as we go into the offseason. Right now 0 for 2. Got an 8-game hit streak on the line.
Another great moment this season involving defense. Didi Gregorius against the Dodgers on September 5th. Well, I had a chance to talk to a former teammate and a former coach on my staff, Chris Spire, recently, and he saw that play and said it's one of the best plays he's ever seen a shortstop make. Alan Trammell, who knows a little bit about playing shortstop, pretty much said the same thing. Didi Gregorius ranging way to his right, throwing back across his body all the way in the air for the out at first on Justin Turner. You can't do it any better than Didi did that night.
Tram told me in the dugout the next day that he had never seen a shortstop make that throw. Ever. And that's saying a lot. Pitcher spot is up. That'll do it for Josh Colmenter as Jordan Pacheco steps in. And Jordan has had a nice finish to his season. And a pinch hit single last night. He's got 9 hits in his last 16 at bats. 5 RBIs. Evan Marshall will start throwing down there. Josh Comenter goes 8 innings, gives up only 3 hits, 1 run, and is right now on the hook for what would be a 1-0 loss.
Man, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a better pitcher in the final month of the season than Josh Comenter in all of baseball. He was dealing.
His last 6 starts before today, his ERA was 1.29, so it's going to go south of that. And his ERA for the year, including today, has gone down after each of his last 7 starts to finish the season. And with 8 innings of work today, how about this? In his last 50 innings this season, he gave up 7 earned runs. 50 innings of work to close out the year, 7 earnings. That's amazing.
With a little bit of offensive support next year, the ceiling is very high for Josh Comenter.
2-2 on Pacheco. There's also this. Josh threw 92 innings last year, working exclusively out of the bullpen. So this year, he threw 87 more innings than he did all of last season. 87. So he almost doubled up. Gonzalez loses Pacheco, a 2-out walk. And this might be Ender Inciarte's last chance to carry his hitting streak into next year. Right now he is 0 for 3. A 15-game hit streak on the line in this at-bat. And Pacheco is going to come out of the game, and we'll see a pinch runner, who at first with 2 outs is the tying run.
Pinch running.
Nick Ahmed.
Number 13, Nick Ahmed.
So Inciarte 0 for 3, the 15-game streak on the line right here. Throw down to first, and Ahmed is back in time. Alan Trammell said this morning Ender Inciarte has been by far the brightest spot throughout a season too full of dark moments, based on the results and how hard Ender has worked and how much he's improved. And Tram said that was one of the great joys for him in this year, working with Ender Inciarte every day. The kid that came up here, didn't know a whole lot about him, a former Rule 5 guy who the D-backs got back from the Phillies. 4 for 36 when he started the year, and what a finish.
There's a lot to like about Ender's game. A few things he needs some work on, specifically those high throws over the cutoff man. Gets a little overly enthusiastic at times. Has a tremendous throwing arm. Just needs to learn how to throttle it back a little bit, a little more under control defensively. But yeah, there's really nothing lacking in his game right now.
Either way, he's going to think about this at bat all winter long. Good or bad. Take that streak into next year. There's a strike 2-1. And he continues to get better and better. If you go back to August 1st, which is a span of his last 52 games, all of them starts, he's hitting .313. And he has raised his batting average for the season over these final 2 months by almost 40 points.
And obviously we don't know what the team is going to look like next year. But one thing you really like about Ender Inciarte, at least it has really impressed me, he's actually hit better for average against left-handed pitching than he has against righties. I mean, if you're looking for a guy that can be an everyday player regardless of the opposing pitcher that particular day, Ender has proven that he can handle lefties equally as well.
And that's certainly a nice quality to have in a guy you might think about being your leadoff man next year. You don't have to drop him down in the order against a tough left-hand starter.
Or platoon him. I mean, a lot of times that happens. You get a guy, Gerardo Parra jumps to mind immediately, who hit righties well but really struggled against the lefties. probably should have been in a platoon on a full-time basis, but Ender hits righties and lefties.
Just does stay alive right there. And the way he embraced the leadoff role and that identity, and he's come to personify everything you think the leadoff hitter is. The disruptive runner on the bases, the guy that can pull the ball down the line or slap it the other way for a base hit. Extended bats by spoiling good pitches. He has come a long way. Ahmed just does get back in time. And the thing that's so interesting about Ender, he has learned on the job at the major league level. Just 2 years ago, he was a 21-year-old kid playing A-ball at South Bend in Visalia. Last year, his first full season just at the Double-A level in Mobile, and here he is. A very successful major league rookie. Ahmed takes off, and they got him picked off. And that ends the inning. So Ender and Ciarte will start over with Ender. He will lead off the bottom of the ninth. We head to the ninth inning. It's 1-0 St. Louis. Walking stick for a culinary clash between some of the Valley's most prominent chefs. Great food and drinks from over 60 restaurants and wineries will be available, with all the proceeds benefiting the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Phoenix. For tickets and information, just go to dishitoutaz.org, and to get $10 off, use the promo code AZFox. Our Gila River game summary. Cardinals clinched the NL Central moments before first pitch, so Adam Wainwright was scratched. And it's been a makeshift St. Louis lineup, and so far they have out-hit the Diamondbacks only 3-2. We have rolled along here. The Cardinals got their one run in the 6th inning, and that was Pete Kozma, who led off the inning with a double and scored a run. The only run of the game so far. Josh Comenter brilliant again, but he gives way here in the 9th to rookie right-hander Evan Marshall. Xavier Scruggs will lead it off for the Cardinals. Pitcher spot is due up next. That's now the leadoff spot for St. Louis, and Gonzalez, the pitcher, is out on deck. Xavier Scruggs. UNLV 19th round pick in 08. Speaking of success stories in 2014, there's one. Got a lot of big outs over the course of his rookie year.
Now, he did not follow the usual path for a relief pitcher coming up from the minor leagues. Generally, you work some mop-up games, you know. The starter gets blown up early, come in and give us a couple of innings here or there. Evan Marshall very quickly became the 8th inning guy. That heavy sinking fastball, his ability to throw strikes. Set it up for Addison Reed.
That's a foul ball. Well, Marshall trying to keep this a 1-0 game and set us up for a dramatic bottom of the ninth to end the season. It would be Inciarte, Pollock, and Peralta 1, 2, and 3 in the ninth. Scruggs stays alive.
This is what right-handed hitters do against that Evan Marshall sinker ball. Just keep fouling it off their own legs, pulling it foul down that third base line. When he keeps that ball on the inner third of the plate with that movement, very tough to hit it into fair territory.
He grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. A little flare near the right field line. Trumbo backing out in those high socks. One away.
Well, we know fans need something to look forward to, so we'll give you some dates. The Fall League gets cranked up on October 4th. Salt River Rafters will take on the Scottsdale Scorpions that day. The general manager meetings in Phoenix in November. The winter meetings in San Diego in December. Spring training games begin March 4th against the Rockies, and before you know it, the 2015 opening day on April 6th against the San Francisco Giants.
Don't forget, fans, if you need that baseball fix, and I'm talking live baseball here, we are lucky enough to live in the Valley and all over this great state of Arizona. The Arizona Fall League is the way to go. Steve Cobb and his staff do a tremendous job. You will see some of baseball's best prospects. A 6-team league that plays 3 games a day, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. The Arizona Fall League, owned and operated by Major League Baseball. And they play at some of the great facilities here all over the Valley. They use the new Cubs facility over there in Mesa, Scottsdale Stadium, Salt River Field. They play up in Peoria, over at Camelback Ranch as well in Glendale. And it's a great treat to head out to a ball game one weekday afternoon. They have night games as well, and just check out some of the best players and prospects coming up. And that includes Archie Bradley, who's going to pitch in the Fall League this year for the Salt River Rafters, along with Peter O'Brien. Now, you'll remember Peter O'Brien was the catching prospect the Diamondbacks got in the Martin Prado trade from the Yankees. He is also the defending champion in the Bowman Hitting Challenge, which I got to host last year, which is the Arizona Fall League Home Run Derby. And the Bowman Hitting Challenge is coming up, as you mentioned, in a couple of days here. Not too far away, so check that out. Pritchett grounds out, and we are down to our final 3 outs in 2014. Bottom 9, D-backs trail it 1-0. It's air conditioning, cool play of the game. The Arizona Diamondbacks coming out between innings about halfway through today and thanking their season ticket holders and the Diamondback fans for their support through a difficult 2014. But optimism for the future here at Chase Field. It's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Very cool.
Very cool is absolutely right.
And here we go. Bottom 9, a 1-0 ball game. Still some drama here. A chance to finish with a flourish as Ender Inciarte leads off the bottom of the 9th. He needs a base hit in this at bat to extend his hit streak to 16 games. It's at 15 right now. He's 0 for 3. Slaps that one the other way down the line. Get down, ball.
Oh my.
Sure that Bam is okay. That's a foul ball either way. That's a loud strike one.
Boy, he went hard into that wall out there in front of the Diamondbacks bullpen. Man. Ooh.
Ender had that thing slicing just where he wanted it, just a little too much. But he's still alive up there at 0-1.
Good to see Tommy Pham up on his feet. Looks like he's going to be able to continue here. Looks like he ripped the elbow of his right sleeve right there. His skipper giving him a high five from a distance right there for the effort.
Inciarte still with a chance. Hitting .310 since the All-Star break. A ball and a strike. One and two. An 18-game hit streak just last month. Trying to extend his current streak to 16 games and take it into 2015. Roll foul behind Dave McKay at first.
Because Ender Inciarte hits so many balls to the opposite field, he's facing a left-handed pitcher. He has a 2-strike count. The Cardinals have really swung their outfield around toward left field. If he would happen to pull one down in that right field corner right now, off to the races.
Slaps the 2-2 foul. Here's a look at the defensive alignment for the Cardinals. He's become a tough out regardless. There's no question about that.
Pesky. That's the word that comes to mind. We talk about those fast little leadoff hitters. Foul off pitch after pitch after pitch. Pesky.
He is that. Another 2-2. It's full. Now here's the question. Do you get on base, take the walk, set yourself up as the tying run, or do you maybe take a hack at one that's just a little outside to try and extend that streak?
Hack at it.
He does. It's foul.
If this was an at-bat or a game rather to determine whether you finish over 500 or you avoid 100 losses or some other milestone type of a game, but it isn't. If there was ever a time to get selfish, this is it.
His last at bat of the year, typical Ender Inciarte fashion, pitch number 10. It's in the air to left. Inciarte 0 for 4.
They'll have to start another one opening day next year, I guess. He hit it well.
Well, Mike Matheny going to match him up here in what is a meaningless game for his National League Central champs. So believe it or not, we have a pitching change. We'll take a break. Save of the year. The hard-throwing right-hander is on here in the ninth with 1 out to work to A.J. Pollock. His 57th appearance of the year. One nothing Cardinals. 3 hits for St. Louis, 2 for the D-backs. A pair of Cliff Pennington singles. Pollock 0 for 2. He walked his last time. AJ, to close out the season, will have reached base safely in 21 of his last 22 games.
And certainly congratulations to the Cardinals, obviously, for winning the division, going to the postseason for the 11th time in the last 15 years. 4 of those ended up with a World Series appearance. Only the Yankees have more playoff wins since 2000 than the Cardinals. I think it'd be old hat for the Cardinals showing up in the postseason.
That's one of the organizations that you look to in terms of a blueprint. This is how you achieve sustained success. Scout, draft, develop, make smart free agent signings. And they do all those things under GM John Mozilla, who's just in the booth, a couple of booths down from us, just to our left. 2-2 to A.J. Pollock. The cell phone lights are flashing, batteries dying as we turn out the lights on 2014. It's full 3-2. AJ gets that in the air to right field. Grichuk tracks it down for a loud out number 2.
Oh, man. Just a little more elevation there. He squared that one up on the barrel. A hard line drive to straightaway right. Just didn't get enough carry to get it over the head of Grichuk out there in right field.
And the last man standing in 2014 is David Peralta. We were told Grichuk is a very good defensive player. And he did a nice job there of hauling that one in right in front of the right field wall. Strike 1. In the air, shallow left. And that ends the season. It's 1-0 St. Louis. The Cardinals win it. And they win the NL Central, and they win the game in the series here to close out 2014. And a celebration, which is, I'm sure, been ongoing throughout this ball game. They clinched the division moments before we started. We'll finish up on the field here at Chase, NL Central champs.
Well, partner, when we took this job together, I told you there were going to be a lot more stinkers than there were good games, and unfortunately we got to experience a lot of stinkers this year, but it's been a great ride, and I know I'm looking forward to next year. I know you are as well.
Yeah, I hate when there's no baseball, so I'll be at the Fall League game, so come out and have a beer with me. We'll put our feet up, but I want to thank you sincerely for getting me through these first 2 years here as I learn on the job, and you've been unbelievably patient, and I sure do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always fun at the old ballpark. Can't wait till next year.
Diamondbacks drop their season finale 1-0 to the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's start the Diamondback Live postgame show. Cindy Brunson's out in center field. Cindy.
Thanks so much, Steve. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on Fox Sports Arizona for the season finale. The NL Central winning St. Louis Cardinals get the best of your D-backs on this day by a final count of 1-0. But we want to take pause and thank you, the viewer, for sticking with us, and the D-backs would like to do so as well.